Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
But even this phone gotta go. Everything has to be brand new by tomorrow for you.
I just want to buy a
physical phone and physical phones, but I also mean getting rid of.
In Atlanta, the stakes are not only high, they're historic, because in the A, it's not just drug crews, rappers, and gang leaders under fire. It's the same people who once stood beside them in court. A place where $1 million indictments go toe-to-toe with $1 million attorneys, and where courtroom battles are fought like street wars and reputations are built or buried by a verdict. And at the top of that legal battlefield is a person we all grown to know well, Brian Steele, a defense machine known nationwide for standing between the state and clients like Young Thug and the YSL RICO trial, while also helping Tip negotiate a plea deal in his iconic 2007 silencer case. Then you got the boy Drew Feinling, the billion-dollar lawyer whose client list included Cardi B, Gucci Mane, and even Donald Trump. But coming up soon, he's set to take a case that, in my mind, won't be like any other he has before. Not a rapper, not a politician, another high-profile attorney, Nicole Ms.Got Fagan. Once praised for her courtroom tenacity, Ms.Got was a high-profile defense attorney known for representing some of Atlanta's most dangerous defendants. According to press written about her, it said that she moves with confidence, she speaks with precision, and she knows the system from the inside out. But now prosecutors allege that she wasn't just representing her clients, she was breaking the law right alongside them.
People play gangsta and police games at the same time. That shit is weird. That shit is weird.
Now new at 6 o'clock, a defense attorney in the YSL gang case now faces criminal charges herself. Lawyer Nicole Fegan was indicted on multiple charges today. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie is live for us in the Fulton County Courthouse. And Mark, the charges include allegations that she tipped off a fugitive about evidence to get rid of.
Sean noted that there was surveillance video taken for that there was surveillance video of Fagan like making some sort of drug transfer in the dining room in the there's a cafeteria next to where the trial was being held.
Wow.
And that all right, here we go. So all right, I'm reading what I'd written for a story that I never actually ended up publishing. Like in April, and I guess this would have been 2023. What is time? Deputies found an Aquarius vendor with drugs in the courthouse, though he had been searched before leaving jail. According to an arrest affidavit, surveillance video showed his attorney, Nicole Fagan, take a small powder blue bag from Menger's girlfriend, Brittany Parks, that day in the courthouse cafeteria, and then later place it under the defense table with her client. Menger is later seen leaving with a folder that had a bulkier appearance than it did when he initially came into the courtroom. Glanville severed Eppinger and Farley from the trial. Eventually Menger as well, after Fagan became pregnant. Brittany Parks was arrested in May of 2023 on drug and gang charges. And then she was indicted in a RICO case with PDE members. Now, the affidavit for the arrest warrant for Parks that names Fagan in this video, like, noted that Fagan wasn't being arrested for smuggling contraband at that point. She was arrested later, like, because of the phone thing, like where she called this other guy and said, "Get rid of the arrest warrant." But here's the thing, like, they were watching her before, like, she got arrested on the obstruction charge, like the sort of tampering thing, because she called the other dude. They were watching her because they were watching Brittany Parks and this drug transaction. And so, like, they've been looking at her for a long time.
Chronicles. Now, if you're messing with a man that's in the street, then you need to understand the position you play. If you're sitting there and you're getting nice dinners, you're getting some shoes, you might be getting a purse, and when shit gets fucked up, you're down too. You might have a minor setback, but you're going to have a major comeback. Another thing is, you don't need to be sitting there asking who he's talking to and whether or not he's cheating. He's not cheating, and frankly, you don't need to ask him what he's doing anyway, because you already know he's not doing shit. Instead, you need to be Googling some shit to talk to him about so that he can get his mind off his situation. Another thing is, you don't need to get all in your feelings and lose your self-esteem, and you don't want to be confident. You think he might be wanting to move on to another girl. He don't have no options right now, first of all. Second of all, you losing your confidence takes your sexy swag off. You already know that's your man. You're going to hold him down. When he get out, he going to hold you down too. So don't forget that.
Defense attorney is on the other side of the law tonight. Atlanta police say she told a murder suspect to throw away evidence. Fox 5's Tyler Fingert has worked on this story all day. He joins us live in downtown Atlanta with the details. Tyler?
Yeah, Courtney, good evening to you. Nicole Fegan represents a defendant in the Young Slime Life gang case. Tonight, she is now in trouble herself. In fact, I've learned she is facing a gang charge. Atlanta area criminal defense attorney Nicole Fegan now needs a lawyer of her own after being arrested in Gwinnett County Friday and booked into the Fulton County Jail. Police say she told a murder suspect he was wanted and to ditch his phone. This stems from a September 2022 deadly shooting in downtown Atlanta. Atlanta police say she contacted a suspect in the case to tell him he was wanted and then told him to dispose of his phone. Detectives say Fegan was not representing the suspect she called and learned about the warrant during a court hearing related to the shooting.
You know you got a warrant, right? No, sir. All right, you got a warrant out of the city of Atlanta.
Besides Fegan, police have also arrested Keontae Davis in this case. It's unclear if he's the suspect she called, but officers took him into custody last February after he was pulled over for rolling through a red light. This is body camera video from that arrest. Davis is accused of taking part in the deadly shooting, which police say started as an argument. One person was killed and another was injured in that case. Davis faces at least 2 charges, including murder.
I'm confident that you'll come back with a verdict that speaks the truth.
For Fegan, the allegations are a fall from grace for a defense attorney who has been considered a rising star. In a 2019 Facebook post, she shared this article about her from Atlanta Attorney at Law magazine that calls her the new generation of criminal defense attorneys. Fegan faces 2 charges: participation in criminal street gang activity and solicitation to tamper with evidence. Fegan represents YSL defendant Tenquarius Mender. And Fegan has been booked, but at this point we will not be getting her mugshot because of system issues related to that, related to the cyber attack that happened last month. We are live in downtown Atlanta tonight. Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
Now new at 6 o'clock, a defense attorney in the YSL gang case now faces criminal charges herself. Lawyer Nicole Fagan was indicted on multiple charges today. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie is live for us in the Fulton County Courthouse. And Mark, the charges include allegations that she tipped off a fugitive about evidence to get rid of.
And this is a fast-developing story. I reached out to Drew Finling, the defense attorney for defense attorney Nicole Fegan, and I just got this text from him a short while ago. He said, this indictment is a travesty. Nicole Fegan is a fierce trial attorney and well-respected amongst her peers. These charges stem from activities alleged to have occurred 2.5 years ago during the YSL trial, for which Ms. Fegan was a zealous advocate for her client. No more. We look forward to fighting these false allegations. Well, here's some insight into what those allegations are. Defense lawyer Nicole Fegan is well known in local legal circles for her effective representation of alleged gang members, often when they are charged with violating Georgia's Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, says J.P. Miller, who told us he knows her from both sides of the street, having worked against her when he was a gang investigator with the Fulton County DA's office and consulted with her now that he's a private investigator.
She has a great reputation on the street and with her clients and by her peers. She has been successful in receiving several not guilty and acquittal cases throughout her career.
But now an indictment, which also contains allegations against 2 co-defendants, charges Nicole Fegan herself with violation of the Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act and other charges. For example, the gang charge against her alleges she unlawfully solicited a fugitive in a gang murder case to commit criminal gang activity through the commission of the offense of tampering with evidence. A criminal solicitation charge suggests she unlawfully solicited a person by that same name, a 4PF gang member that was a fugitive in a 4PF gang murder case, to get rid of his phone with the intent to obstruct the prosecution of someone else. Another count accuses Fagan and another person of the offense of obtain/procure/give inmate prohibited item without authorization. It alleges they did unlawfully give to Tenquarius Mender, an inmate of the Fulton County Jail, a place of incarceration, methamphetamine. Still another count mentions the prohibited item offense, only this time involving the illegal drug oxycodone, and yet another count alleges something similar involving marijuana.
You know, I've worked with her on both sides, and she's always been a pleasure to work with.
Now, a court document that we obtained indicates Nicole Fegan was Mender's defense lawyer. It indicates in that case he pled guilty to possession of weapon by incarcerated individual, possession of telecommunications device by incarcerated individual, and participation in criminal street gang activity. That last charge as an Alford plea, which I understand means he does not admit that he did it, but that it was in his best interest to plead guilty. There's much more on this that we're digging into. For now, reporting live, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.
While a Channel 2 Action News exclusive right now, we've obtained a recording alleged to be an attorney telling a wanted man how to dispose of evidence. That attorney is now facing charges. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie live now at the Fulton County Courthouse. And Mark, that recording appears to be key evidence in this case.
Yeah, after we learned of the indictment of Nicole Fegan, we began digging into other documents, and we found out about the apparent existence of a recorded conversation. We made an open records request for it. We got it. We're going to bring a section of that recording to you, but we begin our report with Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis.
Lawyers are given trust. They take an oath, just like a law enforcement officer takes an oath. And we're held accountable like every other citizen, so we cannot commit crimes.
Since she's an attorney, one might expect to find Nicole Fegan's name on lots of legal documents, but Monday she wound up in an indictment as a defendant, accused of violation of the Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, criminal solicitation, giving methamphetamine, oxycodone, and marijuana to a Fulton County jail inmate, and more. But we also found her name in an October 2024 court order by Judge Scott McAfee that indicates there was allegedly a call on March 24th, 2023 by Ms. Fegan to a man who at the time had active warrants. Through that court order, we learned the phone call had been made a court exhibit, which we knew made it a public record we then requested. And here is just some of what we heard when we got it.
But even this phone got to go. Everything has to be brand new by tomorrow for you.
I just want to buy the
physical phone and physical phones, but I also mean getting rid of.
That date, March 24, 2023, matches the date in the new Fagan indictment, an account that alleges she solicited a 4PF gang member that was a fugitive in a 4PF gang murder case to get rid of his phone with the intent to obstruct the prosecution of another man we are told was her client. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis.
And I think that lay people understand that as a citizen, it doesn't matter if you're a lawyer, it doesn't matter who you are, you cannot ask another person to tamper with evidence in any way.
A statement we received Monday says this indictment is a travesty. Nicole Fagan is a fierce trial attorney and well respected amongst her peers. These charges stem from activities alleged to have occurred 2.5 years ago during the YSL trial, for which Ms. Fagan was a zealous advocate for her client. No more. We look forward to fighting these false allegations. Drew Findling, Marissa Goldberg, Findling Law Firm, attorneys for Nicole Fagan.
An indictment is nothing but a charging document. We will have to prove these charges beyond a reasonable doubt. But what this indictment lays out is someone bringing in contraband to the jail. Contraband is a variety of things. It is drugs and it's cash.
Now, the man alleged to be involved in that phone call, mentioned in the court order, documents indicate that he pled guilty ultimately to gang charges, voluntary manslaughter, and a firearm charge. Reporting live outside the Fulton County Courthouse, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.
So Nicole Fagan would begin her reputation standing beside alleged gang members in court, but in April of 2023, prosecutors would say that she did something that blurred the line between defense strategy and criminal conspiracy. While representing Tinquarius Mender, an accused member of YSL, Fagan would allegedly use her privileged legal access to smuggle in methamphetamine, oxycodone, marijuana, tobacco, and even Apple AirPods into the Fulton County Jail. And investigators would claim that the smuggling operation was not just a one-time breach, but, quote, a calculated, sustained effort coordinated through phone calls and shielded by attorney-client visit protections. Now, the charges against her would include drug trafficking, providing prohibited items to inmates, along with participating in a criminal street gang, which is some wild shit. But that would be only the tip of the iceberg, because less than a year later, her alleged misconduct would expand to a second crew. In early 2024, she would be recorded on a jailhouse phone call with Nathaniel 4PF Nate Benford, an alleged fugitive and an alleged affiliate of 4PF, or Four Pockets Full. Now, during that specific phone call, prosecutors would allege that Fagan would advise 4PF Nate to discard his phone, a device believed to contain key evidence in the murder investigation. Now, that single conversation would earn her 2 more charges: obstruction of justice and solicitation of a gang member to commit illegal acts. It will also solidify in the eyes of investigators that Fagan's connection to Atlanta's gang infrastructure was not just circumstantial, but it was forming a pattern. YSL was no longer the only name attached to her. Now it was 4PF, which would bring us up to speed today, kind of, because you would have to go back to see how it was all connected, because it would be during her initial representation of Tinquarius Mender where investigators would believe that she would become entangled with the third group, PDE, or Paradise East Entertainment. They would allege that Mender was romantically involved with Brittany Tierra Parks, an alleged PDE affiliate who was under a 30-month federal investigation. Prosecutors would claim that Parks acted as a smuggling carrier, delivering contraband to Fagan during coordinated handoffs, which Fagan would then carry into the Fulton County Jail using her attorney credentials. Brittany Parks currently faces conspiracy to traffic narcotics, gang activity, and smuggling contraband into a detention facility, with her trial still pending from what I seen. And what began as a single attorney-client relationship would spiral into something way larger than that, because in a twist of irony, it would be Nicole Fagan's act of defending Taquarius Mender that may have inadvertently pulled her into her very own RICO conspiracy she once built a career fighting against. And probably just as wild, it would tie her name to 3 of Atlanta's most high-profile entertainment labels, all of which, while brandished publicly as rap collectives, have also been identified as prosecutors and law enforcement as violent criminal street gangs. So whether by association, access, or alleged intent, the woman once praised for her control of the courtroom now stands accused of becoming a conduit of the very gangs the city has spent years trying to dismantle. And currently, as we speak, Nicole Ms.Got Proof Fagan stands formally indicted in Fulton County, and I would have to believe that she would be removed from representing any defendants in the YSL case and probably from practicing law until this is over with, but I could be wrong, as she faces felony charges that include drug trafficking, contraband smuggling, obstruction of justice, participation in a criminal street gang, and solicitation of gang members to commit crimes. Based on my research, it looked like she's currently out on bond, but it doesn't seem as if the investigation is over, with multiple agencies, including the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, the Sheriff's Office, and even the U.S. Marshals, continuing to track just how deep everything went and whether or not Miss Not Guilty was a tool or part of the operation. Because if prosecutors are right, she didn't just cross the line between defender and conspirator, she pretty much erased it. And based on my conversation with George Cheedy on the situation, he seemed under the impression that the same person that she was getting the drugs to smuggle into the jail, Brittany Parks, might be the same person that might be cooperating against her. But y'all tapping downstairs. Let me know what y'all think. Was she just a powerful player out here spanking charges, so prosecutors had to get her off the board? Or was she part of the mob? Y'all make sure y'all hit the red bell and subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real trail spill shit is dropping. Y'all get in the comment box below. Y'all let me know what cities we need to go to, what stories we need to tell, what we missed, what we got wrong, all of that. And y'all tapping with me directly on Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And until the next play, y'all know how we rocking. It's Shay's Popalot. Salute the almighty mob.